Get this ceremony underway. We've got a great day here for a momentous occasion for the San Francisco Oakland Bay Bridge retrofit. My name's Bart Ney. I'm the Public Information Officer for the San Francisco Oakland Bay Bridge with Caltrans. Today, what we're going to do is hear from a few key folks who have thoughts about the history of what's actually happening today, and then media that are interested. Hopefully, you've signed up on the waiver sheets and the sign-in sheet to take a boat tour that will get you a little closer to the work that's happening today. This morning about 6 o'clock, we started lifting a 1,200-ton, 165-foot tall section that is the first part of our signature span for the world's largest self-anchored suspension bridge. And you can see it right here behind me. It's already vertical, it's being unbolted, and it's going to be slid into place and set down onto a foundation where it will stand for at least 150 years in the next few hours. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our Secretary of California Business, Transportation, and Housing Agency, Secretary Bonner, Dale Bonner.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Bart, and thank you all for coming out here this afternoon. It's a great day to be here. It's a great day for the Bay Area commuters. I want to just underscore that today is a day that's been very long in coming, in the making, and so we're all gathered here today to recognize, a little bit of history that's going on. And I'm here on behalf of Governor Schwarzenegger and the state of California, really to say not only congratulations, but a number of well-deserved thank yous to everybody who has been instrumental in helping us get this far today. And that includes, of course, our local and regional and federal partners who have been great to work with over the last several years at least, and probably longer in getting us here. Members of the Toll Bridge Program Oversight Committee, I see some of you here today. Thank you for your dedicated watch over this project. I see we have some members of the California Transportation Commission, some of whom you'll hear, or at least one of whom you'll hear from this morning, but the others were good to see you here today. Want to thank Cindy McKim, the new director of the Department of Transportation, who has been working on at least the financial and funding part of this project for a number of years, and we'll look forward to the leadership that you'll bring to it now as the director of Caltrans. Also see Bijan Sartipi in the room here. I was here last week. I was trying to tell everybody what a good job you're doing here in District 4 with this project and some of the other complex projects you have going on in this region, so we appreciate your leadership as well. I want to say also thank you. There's a few of the hard hats and vests that we see out here today. These are the people who have worked very hard to turn a vision and a bunch of raw materials into a world-class asset that's going to stand the test of time, and so we appreciate the hard work they have done. And then most importantly, I think we need to say a thank you to the Bay Area commuters for their patience and support, and for hanging in with this project, and for pushing and cajoling all of those of us decision makers and those of us who are responsible for delivering this project on time. We appreciate your patience and support. As you heard a little bit ago, we're celebrating today the placement of the first tower section in this self-anchored suspension span, which will soon be a very breathtaking landmark here in the San Francisco Bay Area. And this is just yet another impressive engineering and construction milestone in what has been an ongoing seismic retrofit project here for a very long time, and it's one of the country's most vital bridges, so it's important not only to the Bay Area and the state of California, but in fact the United States. And so we all know that we have achieved a great deal so far, and that's why we're gathered here today, but we also know that there is much more to do, and so we're going to look forward to the continuing support and dedication for many more years to come. I'd like to ask my friend, another great leader in this area and for the state, the mayor of Oakland, Ron Dellums, to come forward and say a few words this morning, please.
Thank you, Secretary Bonner, to Mayor Newsom, to Supervisor Haggerty, and to distinguished colleagues all. I have a few brief remarks I'd like to make, but let me just begin on a personal note. Someone mentioned history a few minutes ago. Someone has said longevity has its place. I'm probably one of the few people at this gathering that can recall the origin of this bridge, or at least by my mother and father's account. When the Bay Bridge first opened up, they allowed people to walk on the bridge for a nickel or a dime. and my folks told me that they carried me as a tiny kid onto that bridge. So I have lived long enough to see an extraordinary evolution. It is fitting that the entrance to this world-class region, which serves as a gateway to the Pacific Rim and the world of trade, commerce, and economic exchange, is a world-class landmark bridge, a remarkable engineering feat. This bridge not only graces the point of entry to the Port of Oakland, one of the most powerful economic engines in the greater Bay Area region, it also connects the people and cities of the Bay Area. Our economies and opportunities are interdependent. Safe crossing facilitates healthy exchange and movement of goods, services, people, and tourists. The safety I allude to cannot be underestimated. As beautiful as this remarkable tower will be, and it indeed will be beautiful, the critical factor of this seismic retrofit is our emergency preparedness. To that end, this project is essential for the Bay Area's economic health, particularly following a major disaster, in this case, potentially an earthquake. Finally, I wish to both thank and congratulate each and every person that participated in the planning, the hard work that brings us to this moment and beyond. With those remarks, I would now like to introduce my distinguished colleague and very good friend, the Mayor of San Francisco, Mayor Gavin Newsom.
There's a reason for this. All right, you'll get it in a second. Thank you, Mayor Dellums, and thank you, Mr. Secretary, and thank you all of you for being out here and taking the time out of your day. And let me just pay special thanks to all the hardworking men and women that have worked so hard on this project for all these many years. The people in the building and construction trades, Bob Alvarado and his team, and everyone from Caltran, all the engineers, all the seismic experts, all those world-class consultants that helped bring this to where we are today. Now, I've got to admit, 3 years, $77 million, and a new bridge and a Transbay terminal is pretty impressive. And I want to remind you, it only took 3 years in the early 1930s to reimagine the bay by building this bridge. 3 years, $77 million, and you got that wonderful Transbay terminal. Here we are with a $1.43 billion self-anchored suspension, just a component of a $6.3 billion project just for a portion of this bridge that's taken a little bit more than 3 years. I have to be honest, I, at a point when I was a city supervisor, thought this would never happen. This thing got caught up in so much politics, likes of which I never could have imagined. We had new mayor on that side, a new mayor on this side. One had strong opinions about where this thing would take off in Yerba Buena, where it wouldn't land. Another had a design issue, and had two governors, one that had left, and another governor, finally, Gray Davis, said, enough, stop. We got to get this thing done, and basically broke that impasse and got us moving. I know that folks don't like to hear that, but let's be honest. The earthquake is in 1989, and here we are 20 years later, and we are a number of years away from this being completed. My long-winded point is not to rain on the party, but to acknowledge this, because it needs to be acknowledged at peril it's ever repeated. And that is an important point of the history, is that we have finally made up for some of those delays. We are finally moving expeditiously. We're reaching our goals. We're working collaboratively together on the east side and the west side of the bay. We're working very collaboratively together with the governor's office and Caltran and the teams. The bureaucracy is moving. Unions are working. People are out here, and real things are taking shape. There are 280,000 vehicles that go across this every single day, and they've been waiting patiently to get to this point. By the way, I've been waiting a bit patiently too, because I was just in Shanghai, seems like a few weeks back, and literally the day that we arrived, Mayor Brown and I, was the day that this SAS, basically this piece of the bridge, was shipped off here to San Francisco. Now, if it could have gotten on the plane, we would have been here a few weeks ago, but it took a little bit of time. But it was wonderful to actually be there with some of the folks that actually were doing the construction out in Shanghai, a sister city of San Francisco, and to finally see it arrive, to be here to anchor, at least from my own perspective, that journey. So it's a wonderful sight indeed. Look, this is a world-class structure. There's nothing like it in the United States of America. One could argue there's no tower like this anywhere in the world. This is something for generations that we're going to be very, very proud of. We have the icon, which is the Golden Gate Bridge, and we're going to be talking. I think the Bay Bridge is beautiful. It always is a stepchild, candidly, of the Golden Gate. I think that could arguably change. Nothing will ever replace the beauty and the majesty of the Golden Gate, but folks will be talking about this bridge all around the world. It is absolutely spectacular. It's been a work of love and passion for folks at the CTC, so many people that really made this happen and kept the faith and kept this moving. And I just want to put my hat off to all of you, and in the spirit of a hat, make a point that needs to be made about this hat. And that is, we are very proud that we delivered another icon, this not from the Far East in Asia, but from back east in New York City, with a brilliant move by the Golden State Warriors that was lost not by all of us out here, but by some folks in the media during that LeBron Gate stuff, where we were able to get one of the top free agents in the country to come out to play for the Warriors, and he happens to be here, David Lee. David, thank you for being here, and he should rise because you're going to be seeing a lot of this guy. He's a superstar, and he brought with him these hats. And why do I? So what am I talking about? What is this all about? Well, the hat has a new icon, a new logo for the Warriors. I'm not their spokesperson, but I do want to make a point. And it has on the hat the new suspended span that we're putting in today, which is now the new logo of the Golden State Warriors. And how appropriate that we celebrate our regional team, Oakland's own Golden State Warriors, and celebrate today David coming on board and the new logo being released by the Warriors with these new Golden State Warrior hats. So that's why I grabbed it. That's why I'm thankful David's here. That's why I'm thankful you're all here. I want to thank Mayor Dellums. I want to thank our MTC leaders, particularly Steve Heminger and all his incredible work. In so many ways, we wouldn't be here without him to find all the money for this, and ask that Scott Haggerty come on up, Supervisor Haggerty, to say a few words. He's been an extraordinary leader on this for many, many years and chairs the commission over the MTC and deserves the opportunity to speak even longer than this long-winded politician. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Newsom. I appreciate you being here today. I was almost fearful you were going to put on that hat and make some sort of political statement, but we are extremely excited about David Lee coming over to the Warriors. I will remove 2 pages of my speech because of yours, and that's okay. That's okay. This is the way we do it. We kind of improvise. My name is Scott Haggerty, and I'm chairman of MTC and also serve as a Alameda County supervisor. And I just want to tell you that the installation of this first leg of the self-anchored span is not just a construction milestone. I have in the audience today my wife Rhonda, who's sitting back there, who just went, "Oh God, why'd you do that?" And I also have my son Sean here, and Sean is on, of course, summer vacation. He's 12 years old. But I've been talking to my kids, and I've been saying, you know, what's really happening here is a part of history. And it's been said many times today, this is a part of history. But this is something we are building for future generations. And many generations in the future will be using this bridge. And quite frankly, as we continue to struggle with deficits, our children are the ones that are going to have to pay the debt off. And that's something that I think about almost daily as an elected official in Alameda County. And I think that if we are going to at least put our children this far in debt, we might as well give them something they can use. So I think with this bridge, we're certainly doing that. Unless you want to pay it off. I don't know how your budget's going. But, you know, I want to say something else, because there's a byproduct of this bridge, and I think something that's very important. When the Great Depression came, they built the Golden Gate Bridge. They built the Caldecott Tunnel. And as we struggle through this recession, we're actually doing the same thing. We're building a new bore for the Caldecott Tunnel, and we're building a new bridge. So not only are we putting a bridge up, not only are we in a situation in which we're creating history for our children, but more importantly, we're putting people in the Bay Area back to work, and we have them working. So I think that's probably the best thing that we're doing for the people that we represent. The team of designers for this is extensive. And we have T.Y. Lin International, Moffitt and Nuckel, the construction contractors from American Bridge and Fluor Corporation, the fabricators from ZPMC, and the project managers and financiers from the Toll Bridge Program Oversight Committee. This is a partnership between Caltrans, the California Transportation Commission, and the Bay Area Toll Authority. And I know that the mayor pointed out earlier that Steve Heminger is here from the BATA, Bay Area Toll Authority, but more importantly runs the commission. Also Cindy McKim, our Caltrans director, our wonderful Caltrans director who I got to meet a few weeks ago, find out that we kind of hail from the same area as kids. And then somebody who couldn't be here today, but it's just been great for the Bay Area, and that's Bimla Reinhardt. And you know, I'd like to say that earlier somebody gave a shout out to Bijan Sartipi. Bijan has to be one of the most busiest people in Caltrans right now. And everything that's going on in District 4 clearly points out that he is really earning his money. And I certainly, Bijan, there you are. As a fellow commissioner on MTC, I want to thank you very much for everything that you do. Together we are building a bridge that will not only establish a new standard of engineering excellence and seismic safety, but also provide a beautiful landmark. And as was pointed out, the Golden State Warriors have adopted this landmark, and we are particularly proud about that. I did call Steve the day they unveiled that, and I said, Steve, is there any way we can get any money out of this? And he said no. He said he thinks that the taxpayers have already paid enough. So we did have that conversation. The team behind the bridge is composed of all-stars from all around the world. The tower segments and other steel sections of the self-anchored suspension span have not only designed to rigorous standards, but is also built to rigorous standards. As a result, is world-class. We are happy to celebrate today's accomplishment of the Bay Bridge team so far, but we are mindful there is still much more work to do. We are on a race against time before the next big earthquake hits the Bay Area, and quite frankly, that is what we're working for. We're doing this out of public safety. So to win the race against time, it is extremely essential that we all keep working together. We pick up the pace so we can get this new bridge open to traffic. And please listen to this, 2013. Did you hear that, Andy? Okay. With that, I would like to introduce our next speaker, somebody that really needs no introduction, somebody who helps men and women on a daily basis keep their jobs and work and do everything that they need to do, and that's our CTC Commissioner Bob Alvarado. Bob?
Thank you. You know, with every objective met, we get closer to achieving our goal of seismic safety on the busiest bridge in our state, and actually one of the most traveled corridors in America. This bridge is not only the backbone of transportation for the Bay Area, it's an extremely important route for the entire state of California. And we see that whenever we take the bridge out of service. It takes months of planning, and we have to literally inform stakeholders throughout the state when we're going to shut this bridge down. What makes this bridge even more special, if not crucial, is the fact that it's being designed and built, as mentioned earlier, as an icon for generations to come. This bridge will be another reason to come and visit California, and it will do its job of getting people across the bay with innovative engineering, elegant construction, and architectural panache. I like that word. Up to now, we really haven't had a chance to witness what this bridge will truly look like. But now, as we place these segments that have just arrived, it should become clear that California will have another symbol of its constant effort to dream big and to deliver new cutting-edge ideas to society that benefit society. Although we have a ways to go, today we honor the teamwork and effort that has gone into delivering one of the most technically challenged bridges ever attempted. Thanks to the Bay Bridge team, and I really mean that in the broadest terms imaginable. We see that if agencies, contractors, fabricators, inspectors, and the good union craftsmen and women work together as a team, there's no challenge that can't be met. I want to thank everybody for coming today. This is truly an honor for me to be here, both as a craftsman and a member of the Transportation Commission. Thank you very much. And I'd like to introduce not only a good friend, but as you'll see as this thing moves forward, one heck of a partner. Mike Flowers from American Bridge is going to give us a little chat on the technical parts of what we're doing today.
Thanks, Bobby. Secretary Bonner, Mayors Newsom and Dellum, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. After 4 painstaking years of planning and watching literally thousands of fabricated pieces come skillfully together into the massive tower elements of this one-of-a-kind bridge, it is with great satisfaction that we pause in celebration of the installation of the first tower segment of the self-anchored suspension bridge. But no matter how complete the plan, it has to be executed by people. Skilled craftsmen, inspectors, and engineers that bring to life the plans and the visions of the designers. Dedicated workers to whom today's spotlight belongs. On this occasion, I would like to thank the department, Cindy McKim and the department, for all of its support and partnership. The Toll Bridge Oversight Committee for its leadership, T.Y. Lynn Moffitt and Nichols, the Design Joint Venture for its vision, and ZPMC, who so carefully crafted these pieces together into the elements of the bridge. And a special thanks to the men and women of American Bridge and Floor Joint Venture for their craftsmanship, their professional skill, their innovation in meeting the challenge of constructing this unprecedented structure. But I want to echo Scott Haggerty's comments that this milestone, while meaningful, is but a step in the ultimate journey of restoring this bridge to seismic safety. And on behalf of over 300 employees that are building this bridge even as we speak, for the team of American Bridge and Floor, I want to pledge to you our best efforts in working with you and your stakeholders to complete the new SAS by 2013 as safely and as quickly as we can. And so for a brief moment, let us pause to recognize the accomplishments of many, but let us be ever mindful of our ultimate goal in the service of even more. Thanks. With that, I want to turn the program back over to Caltrans spokesman Bartonay.
Okay, well, I would like to thank our speakers today for their great comments and acknowledging this this moment in history and all the work that's been done by the Bay Bridge team, and basically conclude the ceremony portion of what we're going to be doing today. Now, for those of you in the media that are going to be taking the boat trip, I need to talk with you for a few minutes, so we'll give us basically a minute to excuse everybody, and those of you in the media, please stay right here. I'm going to go over the next steps we have to do with the logistics in order to go out on the water and see this thing very closely. Also, thank you to the Warriors for showing up today and taking this icon right literally onto their uniforms. Thanks, everybody. 1 minute, media.